Tell him, Steve Dave.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Tell 'em Steve Dave. Hey, Walt.
Hello.
Hey, Q.
Hello.
And hello, John.
Hello,
Or-
everyone.
Yeah.
Or
Excited
as-
to be here.
All right.
As everyone else knows him, sexy lawyer.
We can finally drop that.
Thank God.
And now, John the lawyer.
Well, why are you dropping it? You weren't wrong.
I wanted to ask the table.
Now-
Did my hype live up to the expectations?
The adjective I would use would not be sexy. He's clearly a handsome man. But sexy lawyer sounds weird. It just sounds weird. And now when I meet the guy, I'm like, hey, it's John, the sexy lawyer.
All right, well, we don't have to call him that
All
anymore.
right, now we can just call him John.
I think we
John
do.
the
I
lawyer.
feel like, I'm telling you, I wish you were here earlier. I talked to John for like an hour. I'm like, I want to be his friend.
Really?
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Well, what's he got?
Super interesting.
Yeah, he's got all
How?
kinds of stuff. We're going to find out.
Q doesn't like it.
I don't like it.
You don't like me, and all of a sudden he's not
What's
the most
this
handsome
new
guy at the table.
Q,
He was the eye candy for what, 580 episodes?
I gotta pass the torch to this guy?
Q, Walt asked me for a hug.
No.
Of course not.
Oh, a gripping hug. How old are you?
35.
Oh, younger.
He's younger.
Yeah.
He's got some kind of career going on.
He's got a je ne sais quoi about him, you would say.
You should have seen it earlier. He had a scarf on that completed the
Oh,
outfit.
yeah, he
Yeah.
looked like Mr. Big from Sex and the City walking around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you concur, Q? I wasn't.
Got a nice head of hair. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think sexy lawyer. I think like Ghostbusters.
Like a woman.
Ghostbusters 2, that woman that got that was trying to get him in court. She
Oh,
lifted
right,
upside
right,
down,
yeah.
You saw her garters.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is a sexy lawyer.
You
Right.
think my eye would pass that show, that queer eye for the straight guy?
Yeah, I think it would.
I think I could hold my own picking out. Yeah, it's a 10. That's an 8.
Wait a second. Are you a gay guy?
No.
Okay, then
I'm
what
just
the
about
fuck?
measuring up good looks on a masculine good looks.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I would go with sexy lawyer. I think it's a.
Well,
good
I think
thing.
I think we can drop that.
Yeah, no.
John the lawyer.
You know,
John
I'm just
the lawyer.
relieved it's not
John
ghost,
the sexy
ghost
lawyer.
pussy.
Yeah. Ghost Pussy, the least impressive of all the nicknames. There's a lot. Like, there's so much I wanted to ask him, but I had to like hold back, during
Now's
the
your
conversations.
opportunity.
Yeah. So I don't know how much you want to give away in terms of like who you work for, but he's hardcore, Q.
What do you mean?
He has listened to the catalog 3 times. When he's at work, he keeps it on all the time.
See, if I was one of his clients, I wouldn't want to hear that.
So I keep it on in. So I'm corporate counsel for a technology company.
Okay.
So I have clients, but they're separate from that. So in my office for that job, not many people come in.
Oh,
So I
okay.
can just kind of let it go. And if people don't like it, well, then too bad. They can leave the office, I guess.
All right, that's
But
cool.
what about
man. I like that.
what about a subject comes up that's not office fair? Like
The door's closed.
But what? Oh,
Do you have one of those buttons that locks the door when people come in?
Oh, I wish I had
Yeah.
one of those. I don't. No.
Lock it right down?
Yeah,
No?
I wish I had
All
one.
right,
No,
all right.
no.
Yeah, but we found that like we're like kumbaya on like movies and TV and
Yeah?
world views and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. See, this is what happens when you're an hour late. I got to start looking for
I
new
don't think I
friends.
was an hour late. I got to be honest with you.
Oh, you weren't an hour late. That's true. You were not an hour late. You were given the wrong time.
15 minutes late.
So, how did you guys actually come together? Like, did you email Walt, I guess?
no! I just showed up one day out to the office, and John was here, and he just was here long enough for us to pick and see who he was and what he was about.
Mhm.
And he told me he's one of these guys that will get dropped off in the remotest part of the wilderness and just survive with a twig and a piece of string.
No, I don't know.
He told me that. You're right that you have no food and nothing but like a knife
So no, but
and no clothes, right?
yes, you nailed it.
Just a loincloth.
Yeah. So
But you did. But you.
I do love
do
the
that.
outdoors, and I do go
Where do you live? Sorry, where do you live?
just north of Boston.
Well, okay.
So
that was your Massachusetts plates out there.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if this is him.
Is it a
Yeah.
nice car?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Come
he's
on,
a
yeah.
lawyer.
You think he's driving a piece of shit?
And yeah, but I do I like to fish a lot. So I like to go to really remote parts solo, alone, and I'll camp out there. And yeah, but I'm not like I don't bring like
Do you
a
catch
knife
fish
and a
and
string.
then cook it and then eat it?
Yes, I've done that. Yeah.
Wow, that is manly.
That's something I can never do. Like
Yeah.
I would eat the twig, and I'd eat my own loincloth probably.
That string looks that string looks like it might taste good.
Just dip that string in some gravy.
I'll have that for dessert.
But I bring backup. It's not like if I don't catch a fish, I starve. I do bring
Okay.
other food.
But you don't bring a cell phone, you told me.
Well, my cell phone doesn't work when you go out to those places, so I
Yeah.
need a satellite phone, which I do have.
Oh,
Because
okay.
if if something happens, that's your only line out.
And do you bring any weapons? It's like, didn't you say you're packing heat?
Nunchucks.
Yeah, if I go to bear country, I'll bring like a firearm with me.
What do you use to shoot a bear? My brother just got a Desert Eagle.
Yeah, I don't bring a Desert Eagle. I mean I know they say 45 Magnum is the thing to use for a bear, but I use a 357 Magnum just because I'm more accurate.
Yeah.
I've never had to use it, thankfully. I've never had to shoot a living thing ever.
Well, your first thing would be to shoot the bear, right? You fire it in the air, scare him away a little bit.
Yeah, you want to just be loud in general around bears because bears usually don't
Wing
want to
'em?
have anything to do.
Yeah.
with it.
Tip of his ear.
Yeah. But I've never gotten to the point where I've even had
Yeah.
to take it out. Yeah.
I mean, this is why I'm so captivated by this man, because TSD Town is full. I mean, I'm sorry, it's full of wusses.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a mama's boy town. And
It really is.
so when someone like John walks in, it's just like,
What are you talking
Oh,
about? These
get 'em.
guys fought off.
Yeah,
These guys fought off like attacking the whole invasion.
yes, that's
I
true.
would have run away.
Alex is stabbing people. Victor's trying to shoot people.
Tom's reading a book about colored magic. What are you talking about?
There's a perfect example. Tom is sitting in the back, waiting for a D&D episode to come up after we record this, and he's reading a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John would be out there killing some sort of like animal to eat. In the meantime, if he's waiting for
parking
the
lot.
parking lot.
Yeah, like have you killed something to eat while you were out? No.
No,
you always rely
Yeah,
on
I'm
your
not.
fish.
I'm
Except
much
for
more into
fish.
fishing. Hunting, I respect it and everything, but I don't know if I have it in me to like kill a deer or something
Yeah.
like that just to
Mhm.
yeah. Even though, hey, I eat meat, I go to the grocery store, I know where it comes from, but yeah, something about actually doing
It's
it.
not
I
about
don't
looking
know.
them in the eye and taking them down.
Yeah, they're
Seeing their children
Yeah.
next to them
Right.
eating away. How did you feel the first time Walt and Kidham started polishing your knob on the air? Like, how'd that feel?
I was shocked.
Did you know it was coming?
No. Because I had come in, Walt had said I had, I had some time, so I emailed. I said, "Hey, could I come down and check the place out?" Yeah, of course, yeah. We had a nice conversation. I was here for a while. We were
Yeah,
talking.
you were here for so long that I was like, this dude's not a real lawyer.
You can't have this much free time.
He can't
No.
possibly have this much free time. He was here how long? We were like 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah.
It was great. It was like scintillating conversation. But I was like, when he left, I was like, I don't think he's a real lawyer.
You got a light in your eyes, Walt. You really like this guy.
Well, like I said, I mean, he came down, and when he said that, he had a legal background and we had a legal issue that I can talk about now. For years, I was trying to get
Now from this NDA.
No, not that. He's
wanna
working on
talk
that one. He's working on that one. He's making inroads. I have a couple words I'm allowed to say. Top 5. And he's working on getting me a few more. But for years, I was trying to get Cryptozoic Man like back, or not totally back, but somehow work with the character again.
Yeah.
For purposes that I wanted to bring the character back and do something with it. And I couldn't get any response from the original publisher. I mean, emails went unanswered for years. And I asked John if he could look into it and tell him what happened.
So yeah, I took a look at the agreement, the original agreement with the publisher, and I quickly realized that they probably had no real interest in giving the materials back to Walt because it was too small of an issue. Kind of. So I found another issue in the agreement, an issue that I knew would get their attention.
Oh.
And
Are we owed money?
Would also benefit Brian and Walt. And so
Can you say what the issue was?
it's up to Walt.
Let's say it, and then well, as my lawyer.
So
Should I say it?
So here's the thing. There's nothing in that agreement that I reviewed that would preclude you from saying it, but I don't know if you've signed other NDAs with that company, with AMC, or anyone else that would.
No, we could say it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so basically there are royalties. There's back royalties that are likely owed to Walt and Brian, and I thought that would probably get their attention because that's a legitimate issue.
Because that's when they what do they call that when they check the books? What do they call that?
They'd have to audit
An
them.
audit,
And
right.
so there was language also in there that stated that, if that it is at each party's disposal to hire a third party auditor.
Yeah, this is standard stuff. Though,
Standard
right?
stuff,
Like, I know
very
the day that Joker's ends.
Very.
I'll be ordering Warner Brothers and the production company. Like, you can, give me your card.
It's standard. It's standard stuff.
Looking at those books left and right. Can't wait.
It's standard stuff. So I thought, okay, this is probably the way in to get them to respond at least.
Sure.
So I sent them a letter
Right.
where I went through everything. I cited the different parts of the contract. It's a standard demand letter,
Yeah.
basically.
You weren't being a dick about it.
No,
You were
not
just
at all.
like, hey, man.
No.
At the end of the day, the reality is, and in my job, I deal with other businesses, and we never want it to be something where we're enemies, right?
Sure.
So, yeah, I was really nice about it. I brought the points up. I said I was excited, basically, about kind of giving some new life to this property.
Great.
And then over months of back and forth, sometimes slow, sometimes quick to respond, we at least we have.
Was anybody over there that worked on it originally, or were they like, what's
Yes.
this?
Yeah, no, they knew what we were talking about.
Okay.
And like John says, over the course of a few months, the dialogue was opened, and he came through, and we got the green light. We can use Cryptozoic Man.
Nice.
We're going to reprint the original series in a nice big hardcover with a brand new story. I want to
With them, or it's all back to you guys now?
It's not back to us completely, but we can use it for what I want to use it
Great.
for.
Oh, very
Yeah,
nice.
I'm not really interested in trying to publish it and to the marketplace, like the mainstream, like go through Diamond and everything. I have I want to do something I have a plan for with the Patreon
Great.
and something I really wanted to do for a while. So and John got it done.
Nice.
It was my pleasure, really.
Thank you.
I enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean it's just weird though how you just see an email from a lawyer. It just means a hell of a lot more. Like you pay attention to it way more than
Sure.
the guy who co-created the property.
It was just not the way it should be, but
Right,
it is,
but
yeah.
it is weird how the world works. so.
Wow. Pro bono?
Yes.
Wow.
And to be-
nice.
to be
I see why you
fair-
think he's so sexy.
To be fair to Walt, I think that if I reached out asking just for what you had been asking for, I think I probably would have gotten ignored too.
You had the
I
lawyer
think
speak it?
having the
Oh,
other
yes,
issues connected
yes.
to it is what really opened
Right.
up the communication.
So that those other issues ended amicably for their side
they're
as well?
still ongoing, the other issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you did charge for this amount of work that you've done, what do you think that bill would be?
That's an interesting question.
It would be just an estimate, but somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000.
Wow.
The work that you put in?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man, we should have went to law school, bro. Because every attorney I know is like bank.
Yeah, just based off of
Sending
the
some
review,
emails.
the research that was done.
Right.
Yeah. And then the phone calls or
I wonder why
whatever,
he's on
yeah.
this episode.
Oh yeah, I got a Patreon show lined up. John the Lawyer presents the greatest, the funniest legal cases in history.
But my offer still stands. I'm happy. If I can, I will happily, help TSD free of charge. If it's something
For
that I
life.
actually, if it's something I can actually do.
It's not that on the record.
Yeah.
That is on the record for
Yeah.
life.
If it's something I can actually
I
do.
got 9 cameras going to prove it.
I'm gonna call and fire my lawyer. Taking 5% of everything I make. Let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Good guy, but it's over.
But like if Gedem gets arrested or something, I wouldn't be able to handle that. I'm not criminal.
Not criminal.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you're you would fall under, like, we could go to you with
Yeah.
these types of problems.
So most of what I do is I negotiate contracts. Most of the time, I say 50% of the time. I set up for different corporations, like the infrastructure for their corporation, usually smaller businesses. Set up like phantom stock plans, or make sure that they have the appropriate policies and procedures depending on the type of business they're in. Like I work in the financial sector a lot. So it's highly regulated. You have to make sure your company has X, Y, and Z different policies and procedures. And so that's part of what I do.
Now,
Vendors.
when
things
you
like that.
were a kid, at what age did you say, you know what, I want to be a lawyer?
I don't know. I mean, it always seemed like something I couldn't do like when I'm really young, you know. I think after college is when I started to get internships working at law firms, I thought, I think I can probably do this. So it wasn't like.
So it wasn't a kid, you weren't just like, I'm like that was your
I think
dream?
as a kid, I'd be like, it would be so cool to be a lawyer, to do this. But to go from that to I'm actually going to do it, I think I can do it, took a long time. Yeah.
But because it's not like, you know, like when you think of people like, I want to be a lawyer, it's usually, you know, it's not like I want to work in financial law.
No,
You wanna be
that's not
busting
what
criminals and
I
shit.
wanted
Yeah.
to be in do trials.
Yeah, like you
and I
wanted to-
did some of that like in law school and after law school, but it's nice to just, you know, work from home or go to the office once in a while and not have to, you know.
But like
Yeah.
to make your case to 12 people on a jury.
Yeah. Now the only kind of trials I do now are podcast trials.
And you may have one coming
Yeah.
up, right?
So,
Because
you know.
we're going to be doing a trial by fire, ... ants, where the man sitting over there who hasn't been on mic for almost a month now,
Look at him. He's checked out. He's looking at his phone. He's not even listening.
get him Steve Dave, you're going to represent him. You're going to, you know, be his defense to try to sway whoever the judge is to allow him to come back on mic. And I thought, like, you know, someone said it would be a great episode 600. You know, the trial by fire,
Okay.
which is coming up, I think, in 14 short weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty fast.
600?
600. So,
Jeez.
what do you think, Hugh? What would you like to do? Would you like to and Bride judge, or would you like to play? What role would you think?
Co-judges?
Would you like to be the
Oh, we can
prosecutor?
commiserate.
I don't want to prosecute.
I know, that's the thing. I don't want to do it either.
Could we get like the angry cunts that are online to like zoom in and give testimony? Like, just be like, hey man, you could block your face and shit, but all that nasty shit you say about get 'em, you could come here and like give your argument.
I think that would scare all these fucking basement dwellers.
Yeah.
To be like, that would shake in their boots with. They could write it online anonymously. They can write any heinous shit they want.
Sure.
But can you imagine walking into this room and saying it to this
To the man's face.
to the man's face and all his friends and everything? I really doubt you're going to find,
Yeah.
unless there's some fucking a-hole
Over
out
Zoom
there.
though? You think they to dial in over Zoom from their
All right,
basement?
well,
Yeah, they could wear like one of those like anonymous masks. You know,
Yeah.
the
Well,
guy.
yeah, Guy Fawkes.
Yeah,
Because
Guy
we
Fawkes.
wanted just a random listener to go up against a real lawyer.
Why
what about
for testimony, not for the lawyer?
Oh, okay.
Are any of the barons free to prosecute?
Gay Baron's free.
Oh God, Walt, there was a guy on the cruise, I'm sorry, who did a lip sync song as the White Baron.
I saw photos.
Oh, he was.
Oh,
he
yeah, I
was
took some pictures.
fucking
He really looked like you.
perfect. He nailed it.
Yeah.
He even had the
The-
Eric Andre couldn't get over it. He's like, you still have the price sticker, the size sticker on it. He did a great job. It was great.
Yeah, his name's Justin Kyle. He was I
Yeah.
met him on the boat. He was a great guy.
Great guy.
Great
Yeah,
guy,
really.
yeah.
He got it. He was a hardcore. But when he came up, I didn't know he was coming up. It was photo accurate.
Okay. But a baron as a prosecutor?
Well, if people feel like they can't get, you know, angry enough, mean enough to prosecute, get them as themselves, perhaps a baron might be able
Well,
to do
he
that.
has a rival in TSD Town too. Ginnam does have a natural rival. He's here today.
He's into fantasy books.
He's here. Like, what's that called?
Reading about purple magic there, are you?
And he has volunteered to be the prosecutor if we can't come.
Asked me if I wanted to be. I said, "Sure, boss."
But he has said that he would be up for the challenge, and he says like there's no shame in losing to a real lawyer if he loses. So
Yeah.
I think he would go into it with a lot of he would take it seriously.
Would you?
Everything Tom does, he does seriously.
You're willing to really seriously try and get him off the show.
For the sake of the show, sure. But
Okay, I like that attitude.
We do
I
need
would
somebody
feel
to
bad.
be.
Because some of the stuff on they say about Get 'em is pretty rough, so I would feel bad. I would feel bad about saying some of the stuff that they put on Reddit about Get 'em. I don't know if I'd feel.
That's what lawyers do, though, man. They're like they know their client is guilty as sin, but they're just like, let's go after the victim.
Yeah, like you're looking at him. That's not a human. That's a shark right there.
He's a corporate lawyer. He's not. I feel a little safer, but I don't know. Some of the stuff are pretty mean. But how hard can I go at Get 'em?
As hard as you're willing to go. I mean, for the sake of the show, for the sake of the bit of the episode, I think the anti-Get 'em crowd would like to see their viewpoints
accurately represented.
represented, with a lot of vim and vigor, not go into it like you're going to roll over and show your belly the first time.
No belly. Well, I don't know.
Nobody
My
wants
aunt's
to
a
see
lawyer.
that.
I don't know. I might.
You're not a bad looking guy, bud. Come on.
Oh, well, I'm no handsome lawyer. But yeah, I'm good. I'm in it.
Well, listen, all right. Well, you're
If necessary.
if necessary. We
Yes.
don't know. Maybe there is some listener out there. My email hasn't changed. It's kmuse2@gmail.com. If there is some listener out there that would like to come in and act as the prosecutor,
Yeah.
we're open. I'm open to listening to why you should be the prosecuting lawyer.
You just gotta
Especially if you are a lawyer. That would be amazing.
great.
You think there's two lawyers listening?
I don't know. I was shocked that there was one.
Remembering back to Q's trial,
Yeah.
Chris Lodondo performed really, really well at that trial.
Wow. What was he at that trial?
Well, I think he was a witness for you, but you even said, I want him to be my lawyer.
Oh,
Because
okay.
he did a very good job.
Yeah.
He won't take the job though. He texted me privately and was like, he wants to get him back on the show. He thought that we were being assholes keeping him off, and I was like, bro, it's a bit. Chill out. So I don't know if he'd want the job prosecuting.
We leave no meat on that buffalo. That's a bit? Okay, that's a bit. Let's do it. Yeah, wow.
When you were doing your, you said you never professionally defended anyone criminally, or you just did.
No,
it in
I
law
just
school?
don't. I do not practice.
You do
criminal
not, but you did
law.
in law school for practice.
For practice, yeah.
How'd you like it? Because I always like whenever I watch that kind of shit, it's like they go on and on and on, and I'm like, I don't think I could talk for that long.
Yeah, I mean, when you see a movie and you see a closing statement in particular, it's usually pretty short,
Emotional.
flowery,
Yeah.
emotional. There is some of that, but most of a closing statement, and these can go on 4 hours. It's just about summarizing evidence that's beneficial to you and then going through the evidence that, say, the prosecution has and discrediting it with argument. You cannot argue during the case in chief. You can't argue when you're questioning someone. You can't make your points of argument during those questions. So you reserve those points of argument for like a closing statement.
But you can get them because you see it all the time on shows movies where they trap someone with the questioning.
Sure.
Where they're like, aha, but you said you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
You can do that. You can
do
impeach
that.
someone for an inconsistent statement or something like that, but you can't necessarily connect those dots for the jury until the trial.
Okay.
Until the closing argument.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Now you said you kind of had written up something in case you weren't sure what was going to happen today.
Yeah.
But could you give maybe just a couple of little talking points of what you think your defense might be in episode
sure.
600?
Yeah, I've got some.
Wow.
Because, I mean, I'm sure if you've listened,
Why?
you know that the argument against him is
Strong.
it's strong and it's financially damaging with threats of people abandoning the Patreon
So
in
I
mass.
Yeah.
so I won't. Sorry.
I would just want to make a suggestion. Why don't we make the trial episode 599? This way we go into 600 celebrating all the things and knowing whether he's a part of it or not.
Okay.
Just something to think about.
I'm good with that.
Unless that's the gimmick for 600, and we don't want to think of another gimmick. All right, so we'll talk about
Yeah,
it.
That's a worthy 600.
You might be right. Yeah. All right.
So what did you
bud,
draw up?
Yeah,
How much would this have cost? Just to what you drew up, because there's a lot of paperwork.
It's
here.
like
Well, this
10
is
pages.
there's 2 copies of this, and it's very big print because I thought I maybe delivered.
Would it be just as much to get Cryptus Oakman back as what you wrote?
No, this is less.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't have to go through a case file. I just from knowledge and memory of
Wow.
yeah. So yeah, you don't want me to do it, or do you want me to just?
Just some things.
Yeah, you don't want to give away your whole
Don't give away your whole
So
game
basically, I wanted to. I think there is a really good opportunity to have people empathize with Gedem here. We have a situation where little Gedem, was abandoned by his biological, parents.
Sure. Is that your view on adoption, abandonment?
Well, I think they were.
It is. Is there any?
Well,
stronger-
adoption is when someone were to.
Right,
get-
but you
yeah.
would say that anybody who gave their kid up for adoption is abandoning them?
Kind of, right? Is there any stronger statement from adoption than like, we don't want you? That's what I was going to tell Joe DeRosa the other day because he was adopted, right?
Yeah,
I was going to be like, there's no stronger statement than like you have 2 parents and they both agree, nah.
Yeah.
But it's the... nah.
It's harsh.
Yeah, I'm sure they have reasons besides nah. But I like that better.
So you're going to go on the sympathy of the jurors.
Well, that's one of the, whether or not
That's
he
gonna
was
be rough.
abandoned,
That's going to be rough.
you can't
It's not a
help.
sympathetic figure.
I don't know.
He really is.
He's been unlucky in love.
Yeah.
Too. And and he's found a home here in TSD.
Specifically in Airport Plaza.
Right now, you're arguing on his bed.
This used to be his second home, but his first home burned to the ground. So now this is his first home.
Right.
Then I was gonna bring up a lot of the different points that I think people forget, like the fact that he is down to do just about anything for Tell Him Steve Dave. You want him to put a costume on, he puts it on. You want him to kind of act like a fool, he will. Unprompted even sometimes.
Buffoonery is his second nature.
If you want a killer game, that's Gedimtainment. That's where the ants.
Since you brought Gedimtainment into you brought it into the case, and now that they can really go after Gedimtainment, which was the worst game in TSD history.
Well, see, but that's what, as an ant, what I love is when things fall apart. I don't want the game to go off without a hitch and Q be delighted at how well it's being played. I want Q and Brian angry at the game. I want Walt belittling Q and Brian about how dumb they are. They're dolts for not getting it. That's what I want. I think that's what the ants want. And without Gedem, I think you miss out on a lot of those opportunities.
I do think, don't take this the wrong way, Gedem, but it harkens back to the days of Stern with the Whack Pack. What are these collection of people like Jimmy the Hair Guy? Love him to death, especially after this cruise.
Oh my God.
Holy
Dude,
shit!
Walt, I got off that boat, massive Jimmy fan.
You weren't before?
He said he wasn't sure.
No.
He even said on stage,
said
he's
on
like, "I'm not
stage.
sold on you."
Yeah, I was like, I don't get it, Jimmy. But I was careful to say, I don't dislike Jimmy.
Right.
I just don't get the rabid love for him. And I
Okay.
got off that boat fully invested in Jimmy the Hair Guy.
That
Fell in love.
crowd loved him.
Loved him. He commanded that fucking. He was in a theater.
Yeah,
At fucking
he was in the biggest theater on the boat.
biggest theater, and he commanded the whole thing. He fucking Adam Ray wrapped around his finger. He did great.
That's where we're trying to get this guy, though. Back to those levels of adoration, and he wants that crowd wrapped around those fingers, right?
Yeah.
Those
Big
beefy
thick fingers, those sausage
You
fingers.
can wrap a lot around those fingers. You can get a cyst working those fingers.
Yeah.
A ganglion cyst.
Also, sexy lawyer, do you think I have a lawsuit against Walt because, unbeknownst to me, he sent dyslexia on the boat and sandbagged us in the middle of a show with a game of dyslexia? Almost derailed my whole cruise.
As Walt's lawyer, it would be inappropriate for me to weigh in on this, but you might have an IIED claim,
Yeah.
intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Oh, I think I definitely do. All right.
Killed.
Okay.
fucking killed. Yeah.
I did not see it coming. When Mary Beth pulled it out, I was like, oh, motherfucker.
Yeah, had Mary Beth come up and read them.
Oh yeah.
On stage, yeah.
It was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal. Well done. Sorry.
So we were going over points.
Well, what about the other side's
What?
argument? That
Oh, well,
you know that like
He's a
they're-
know-it-all.
Yeah, that he
Right.
doesn't really know anything. He's just good at remembering
Right.
Wikipedia facts, and he squeals and makes weird noises and just kind of is annoying and derails conversations from going where they might otherwise go to humorous places because he kind of like puts an immediate stop to it with something boring, uninteresting.
Are you sure
I
you
think we
don't
found
wanna
our prosecutor, yeah.
We found the prosecutor.
No, I don't want to prosecute. And the argument that like keeping him on is at a detriment to our bottom line.
I don't know that I buy that it's a detriment for two reasons. Because the argument here is that he shouldn't be on the regular TESD episode. No one is paying for that. So I could see an argument where he shouldn't be on the, Patreon stuff because there are dollars that are attached to that. But the free TESD, you guys should be able to make all the decisions you want.
You'd think so.
Yeah.
Oh, you would think so.
I have plenty of emails and I can show you screenshots of on online forums where they're like, I've canceled my Patreon subscription. That's the only way to make these guys know that I mean business. That keep them off, and this is the only way to do it. And they're rallying other listeners to do that too.
But he's already canceled, so go fuck yourself. What do we care then?
But I mean, if we, but then
Is it noticeable? Is this a noticeable drop?
I got to have a forensic lawyer. I was hoping you can go over
Accountant.
go over.
Before you leave tonight.
5-hour ride to Boston. You can just look this over before you go.
I don't know.
Look at last year's numbers as opposed to this year's numbers and see if there has been a noticeable decline.
It's tough though, right? You have to make a choice between your friend and the bottom line.
Well, but is it show business though? Show business isn't
That's
that
true.
like the entertainment can't come at a cost of friendship, right? I mean, sometimes hard decisions have to be made.
They do, but I always thought Tell 'em Steve Dave's strength was that they didn't really care, or at least everyone except Walt didn't really care so much about the hate or what someone wants. I think Q has kind of been the most hardline about it. It's like, no, the show is what we want the show to be,
Yeah, I think so.
and I think that is
Brian
the
falls in
success.
that camp too.
I think Brian does too. I think Q though, because he's on
You're gonna
Impractical Jokers.
when you do that forensic, look at our
Accounting.
Yeah.
books. Yeah, look at his mortgage too.
Okay.
I'm sure he doesn't want. He doesn't want to see those numbers go
Whatever
down,
it
right?
takes. Whatever it takes. Get him? Sorry.
Yeah. This is an escape, though. I think this is an escape from the typical entertainment world that you'd see. you
Sure.
know? And I think
I
that
can
is.
tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that with Ginnam, he's been on the show so long and he is a friend. I don't know, man. I don't think just my whole career has been built with friends, so I can't see
Jettisoning one.
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense to me. You stay with the girl that you went to the dance with, you know what I mean? And get him he's been on the dance floor with us a long time.
And it's hard because he has gout. So
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough, and he's not a great dancer.
But it's not like he's not involved in many other aspects. He is on multiple Patreon shows.
Sure.
No one has come after the patron shows yet. But, they've said, just keep TSD pure. And pure is me, Bri, and Q.
But before Patreon existed, all of these shows, the kernel of that idea came from TSD. Whether it be Sunday Jeff or Frank Five, or I mean, granted, those are two of the most
You're
beloved people. But
Yeah, I mean, it has grown like the family and the ensemble, the cast, if you want to. I don't really like to call it cast. It's more of friends. yeah, it's hard to deny that like so many great people have come into our lives because of TSD. It would be a shame. But that keeps the other motherfuckers on their toes, though. It's like, they got to be funny at all times and not annoying.
Or they get dropped. Yeah.
The other option, why don't you get him his own show that he has to produce and everything?
I have
It'll
begged
keep
him to do
busy.
it. I have begged him to do it multiple times. I was like, you got to get your own show, please. And he just will not do it.
Big brains. He invites a guest on each week. They talk about stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people are probably going to hate it. Some people love it. But without a doubt, you guys will have footage that you can rip on in like for years to come.
So that's what we do. Yeah, we record it, you do video, then you go back and you watch it. And you criticize him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won't do it, though. I've begged him to do it. I was like, please, just, this would be great for you. It would be rewarding. And he's just like, he doesn't want to do it. And, it's for reasons of where people think he's got this calloused rhino-like skin where he doesn't feel any of the barbs. It's not true. He says that he fears that, he would be taken to task and he would be ridiculed for hosting his own show.
But so are me, Walt, and Q.
I told him that too. It's like, hey man, not everybody's gonna like it, but a lot of people are gonna like it though. So why not do something just because not 100% is gonna like it?
That's never going to happen. Unless it's IJ.
Yeah.
Sexy Lawyer, are you a Patreon subscriber?
I am. Man.
What level?
I think I'm $10.
All
here.
right, nice.
Yeah.
So as a paying customer, like if he put out the Get 'Em show,
Oh, I'd watch it. Oh,
He's
You would- without a
big
doubt.
fan.
without a doubt.
He's a big fan.
I really like it. Yeah.
why
Yeah.
wouldn't he do it?
I might
Get 'Em?
even up my subscription.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, why wouldn't he do it? Why wouldn't he do
He
it?
does have a mic.
That's all right.
Mhm.
Well, I
He's not
want to hear
talking.
it.
He's not talking.
You don't have to talk on mic. Why
He's
wouldn't
doing
you do
a
it?
bit.
Why wouldn't you do it?
I don't do well on my own.
So he decides not to talk.
Go ahead.
You don't do well on your own, you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
But you wouldn't be on your own. You would have a guest every time, right?
Right. Well, yeah, I told him do something with from 148's perspective, or like you're reviewing things, or
View
you're
from 148 feet. Call it like that.
something
Yeah.
like that. And I told him I would help him. I'm like, I'll produce it. I'll help you put it together. He's just not interested.
All right.
He just won't do it.
Okay.
But
There was one thing. I don't know if you know of this, but what was the thing we were doing? Was it a Jimmy's Mystery Inc.? Remember, Get 'Em Wouldn't Eat chocolate pudding out of a diaper.
Yeah, that was a Sunday
You
Jeff
were-
show
you-
about babies.
Sunday Jeff, yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah.
prosecutor, you can't count on him every time.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Shirtless either.
that's in Discovery
Shirtless.
now. You can go after that.
Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. Wouldn't eat out of a baby's diaper.
In the negative column.
But he would, just as I think there's far more positives. He stripped down and bare chested and put green makeup on to become the Hulk.
Uh-huh.
He wears skin tight outfits that no sane man would
With his
ever
form.
wear.
The hot dog belt.
The hot dog
Yeah.
belt.
Dog belt.
8 hot dogs off my belt multiple times.
Well, that's what like earlier I was saying
On and
about.
off camera.
Because they had to practice it.
The prototype.
Like earlier I was talking about Jimmy the hair guy, but Get 'Em falls into the same category. It's like you see these people who have sort of gravitated towards Tesd Town, and you're like each of them has value. It's not like we bring in people and then they're just fucking boring and they suck. Like if you don't see the Get 'Em and the value in Get 'Em, like I don't understand it. Like the people who Jimmy the hair guy, why has he got his own show? Fuck him. I don't understand how you don't see the value in a guy like that.
I concur. I don't get it. I think there's a lot of jealousy. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who are like, that should be me, friends with those guys and doing all those things. I do think there's some aspect of that. Not all of it, though. I wouldn't be that crazy to paint that broad a brush that they're all jealous, but I do think some are.
For
Yeah.
sure.
For
I would
his-
just advise them to get a skill you can charge a lot of money for and then just do it for free. Tell them, Steve Dave, that's probably your way in.
We're in need of an auto mechanic here. We need a TSD auto mechanic.
It is tax season coming up. So.
I need some mechanic work, and my fence needs to be.
That's how you met Sunday
repaired.
Jeff. Right?
But you know what? There's somebody out there leaping like, I know how to build fences. Like, there's somebody who wants to do it.
Bill the fence guy, who is now with his own show on Patreon.
Were there times in law school where you're like, man, I don't know if I'm going to make it?
First year.
First year?
Yeah, because they do this thing. Everything's graded on a curve.
Did you go away or were you home? And went to school?
I lived in Chicago for law school, which was away from me.
Oh, how awesome is that?
And
Away
the
from law
first
school.
year,
You know how much ass this guy must get?
Oh, fucking
That has to be
slaying ass
fucking
up and down the
insane.
Windy City,
That
man.
has to be
Or
nuts.
College
Yeah.
years? You're not married?
I'm engaged.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
met her- but
Uh-oh.
I met her long after law school.
Okay, all right.
And
Just so you know.
Just so you know, guys, you were right in your initial assessment.
well, I want to make sure that's on the record.
Does she listen to TSD?
No.
No.
Well, why'd you say it like that?
Because when Peter, so I have one friend, this guy Miles, who listens to TSD. Everyone else in my life does not listen.
Okay.
And my fiance, if she hears it going, she's like, "Oh God, wow, put your headphones on."
Is it because of get him?
No, it's because the voices annoy her.
Well, I
The
understand.
voice,
that.
I've been told I have a very nice
You have a
voice.
beautiful
Baritone.
voice. Yeah. Beautiful.
What's her name?
voice. Elena.
Elena. Come on, Elena.
Yeah.
She'll
She'll probably listen to
this
one.
because
She'll
you're on.
probably listen to this
She's definitely gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
Give us a chance with our croaky voices.
What does she do? That's so great.
She's in HR.
Uh,
Yeah, she's in HR.
Oh, she's one who has to bust everybody for everything.
yeah, the fun police. She's the fun
Exactly.
police.
Oh, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Could she be
They're
our
everywhere.
HR? The TSD Town Studio HR? she'd have
like-
so much
That's
more.
like 2 full-time jobs.
There's this hot dog belt that he's making people feel.
Can we get this approved?
You know, they think
wants
there's
to be
anything
out of a
wrong with
diaper.
He should not be wearing this green suit. I don't know why they keep asking him to wear this green suit.
Show her elephants in the room and see what she thinks. Are we eating out an elephant's asshole on that one? Oh my God. what's
Some
wrong with
businesses are
us?
better without HR, right?
Definitely.
Oh God, that's funny.
So how did you discover TSD?
Oh, I started listening episode 20-something.
Wow.
It was through Kevin Smith.
Okay.
And then I became like completely enamored by, because at the time I started listening, there was a lot of dysfunction in the TSD ranks.
You don't say.
It's different now.
Oh, I think it's different, at least from.
What do you mean? Explain that. Yeah, I'm curious in that perspective.
Well, I think Brian was at a pretty low point
What do you mean?
in his life.
I was at a high point.
It's the happiest
internally,
episode.
internally, he might have felt great. But no, I think, and that was riveting. It was so real, so raw, so much different than any of the other, podcasts or anything I'd listened to. So I was like hooked. And then I stopped listening to basically every other podcast except this is the only podcast I still listen to.
And you were in your
regularly.
20s, right? You were like
Yeah.
a young man in your 20s.
It's like Q. I think you said that. Who was it that you love? That guitar player.
Tom Petty?
Tom Petty.
Oh, yeah.
How like you would listen to Tom Petty albums and it kind of would take you through the progressions of your life.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, TSD is like that.
Oh, wow.
Because you
that's
guys
cool.
are 10, 20 years older.
Right.
20, really? Oh, yeah, we are. Damn.
Sorry.
It's not old.
That's-
Some of us.
That's right, the 10.
Yeah.
So I got to kind of see a little glimpse of
Yeah.
what was
Of
coming.
the horrors that are
Yeah.
coming your way.
It's funny. I never
Keep listening.
I never ended up getting like a huge television show, which made me millions of dollars. But a lot of other stuff was quite similar.
Yeah. I would recommend that if you can do it. Yeah. I would recommend it if you can do it. Wow.
What won you over? Like, what was the one episode you're like,
Yeah.
this is it? I'm a lifer.
That's hard.
Well, what pieces of advice resonated with you?
Walt, big time.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Because for sure. Walt's.
Are you squeaky clean too?
You're on mic. You're on mic.
Yeah, I am. These days, I am squeaky clean.
Okay.
These days, I am squeaky clean. When I was younger, I'd drink, go out,
Yeah.
do all that, all the stuff that young
Fun stuff.
right? But yeah, Walt's advice was always pretty much dead on. But who is Walt going to give advice to? His life was seemingly so picturesque and perfect. Well, he needed, Q, you, and Brian,
Yeah.
whose lives were not always so happy,
chaotic.
To feel a little better about himself.
Yeah, and Brian
I made
in
him feel
particular,
really good.
so honest you were,
Yeah.
Brian, about your life, what was going on. At least, more than I think 99% of people would want to share.
Yeah.
And so that really probably was the big hook.
Nice,
just the
man.
honesty.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
A lot of people who have been listening a long time, they pine for those earlier years. They say there's not enough of that dynamic where it was like there was more, there was a little bit of friction. Now it feels like there's less friction and it's more, bits, as they say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess one of you guys could take up like a drug addiction.
Me.
Again
Can I do it?
No, I think that people that listen from a long time ago, like I have, it's now got to the point where we do feel like we know at least a part of you guys. So just you guys sitting around and talking is at least it's entertaining for me. I wouldn't try to force anything.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tough because you think like if we started in 2010, so that's 14 years ago. So like it was 42.
Yeah.
That is a long time ago.
And and a lot of the people who say, "Oh, those first 100 episodes, it's not the same." It's like, well, a lot of the great stories were told then.
Yeah.
So so it's sometimes you come to the mic, and nothing's happened in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So there, you have to take that in consideration.
I wander around my house waiting for the next IJ cruise, so I have something to talk about.
And that's why you get somebody eating hot dogs off a belt, because there's just not any more good stories.
I mean, that was great though. Keep that up.
Keep the
I would
hot
say.
dog belt?
Yeah, that was
Can
funny.
Could we ever envision a day when, because I want you to become a regular, full-time PBS cast member. Could you eat hot dogs off the belt? Would it hurt your career?
He can't even wear the belt?
Let me answer that for him. Yes.
But it's not out of the realm of possibility,
It probably should be. It lives forever, man.
Is Tom Brady wearing the belt?
Jeez, man.
Have you ever gotten nervous, like when like in law school when you were doing your pretend criminal stuff?
Sure, yeah. Like the first few times you actually go into a court.
Because you got a bunch of like real people watching you, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure you get nervous. There's no doubt about it. But after you do anything over and over and over again, it becomes more routine, and it doesn't really affect you anymore. Like I was nervous when I came in here and sat down.
Yeah, I noticed.
Did you? No. He plays it cool.
He does.
Yeah,
He does.
he's a cool guy.
Not a hair out of place.
I know your hair, man. Jesus,
Thank you.
this Joe DeRosa, another thing. Pretend Italian. I just found that out recently.
Egyptian, I think he is.
Egyptian,
right?
yeah.
Egyptian, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't have a nice head of hair like this, though.
Dude, I don't remember. We can't release those Space Monkeys episodes without me listening to them. I don't remember 80% of the shit we
Really?
said on the stage. That last night, I barely remember getting on stage.
The last night, Q showed up like a half hour late.
Yeah, I got late. I got
the
him
third
back.
late.
Oh,
Yeah. DeRosa was like, "How are you gonna be late for your own show?" I was like, "Dude, trust me." I was like, "This will play into everything perfectly."
Yeah.
I was about 20 minutes late, but yeah. But what the fuck were we saying?
Oh, we were talking about so we did the show, and an event like the last 15 minutes was basically descended into a drunk love fest.
Yeah.
With who was it? It was me, you, Fatone, Jiggy, and DeRosa.
Yeah.
All these guys who have met each other in the past and have known each other forever, but it's just I fucking love you, man.
It's like, the audience loved it though. They were dying.
Yeah.
We were getting some zingers in. It was good, as much as I recall.
Yeah, the oh shit, now I keep losing my train of thought. No, it's okay.
You lived in Chicago for 4 years?
For almost 6, I think, years.
What
Yeah, how
part of
long is law
Chicago?
school?
All over. I lived when I first moved there, and I lived near Greektown, then the Loop, then Lincoln Park,
Oh.
then River North. I mean, I lived all over.
What was your bar? What was like when you go back to Chicago? You're like, I got to go back to this place. And visit.
Yeah, the bar that I would always start my night at
Yeah.
was this place called Jake's Bar.
Still there?
Still, as far as I know, still there. They allowed dogs, which means there's no food. It's the darkest bar in Chicago. That's what I always say. And
What
it's
is it called? Jake what?
Jake's Bar.
Jake's Bar.
And that would be in just north of Lincoln Park.
All right, let me
Yeah.
check this out. Jake's
Um,
Pub?
It was called Jake's Bar when I was there. It maybe have changed to Jake's Pub. I haven't been there in
Okay.
six
I've
years.
seen a lot of Jake's Pub. Okay, all right. So that's where you would start. You and the boys.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it right there.
That's it.
Oh
Yep.
shit! Yeah, look at this guy.
Oh,
Out partying in an Irish type bar
Um,
in Chicago.
yeah, used to play like Lamb of God, then like Frank Sinatra, then like Jimi Hendrix. So there was no rhyme or reason to it.
Oh, now
Great
when was the last
place.
time you were there?
It's like about 6 years ago.
Holy shit, bro! You got to get back there,
I know,
man.
I know. I
Come
need to
on.
go.
Maybe you can have like a Tell
What are
'em
you
Steve
doing?
Dave meetup there.
I would love
Yeah?
to do that. Love to. Yeah.
Are people like ants could bring you their law problems?
Yeah.
Like you could sit in the bar and like
Yeah, or a drink,
yeah,
He's going to
Why-
regret this so bad. Do you think that John has the? I think he's got the mojo to become the next Jimmy the Hair Guy in TSD Town.
Whoa.
Come on!
He could be. I wouldn't even say he's a Jimmy the Hair Guy is a unique individual.
Will you get a tattoo?
Yeah, do you have any
I would consider. I don't
Jimmy
have
the Hair
any
Guy?
tattoos.
Of Jimmy the Hair Guy? You tattoo of
the
Jimmy?
next guy's got to get a tattoo of you, and on and on.
Shave my head, tattoo Jimmy the Hair Gun. I can regrow over it.
I think he's going to be that when they do that TSD, the top 10 of the month. I think John the Lawyer is going to be numero uno
Oh, I don't know.
on that list.
From my experience, generally first appearances, even second appearances of people
Don't go well.
do not go well from like a reception standpoint.
Who would you say as an example of? From
Jimmy
your
the
mind?
Hair Guy was
You don't
not.
think his first one didn't.
Oh, I
no,
liked
he
it
was,
from the
he was
start,
not beloved
but he
from
was
the
not
beginning, no.
beloved. Yeah, Get Him definitely was not beloved initially.
Well, he was holding us hostage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, when he had us against the wall, fucking raised the price.
That's actually this is part of my.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But you're
we will
coming
touch
in
on
with
that.
a lot.
all right, great. Yeah, but he's too well put together to be a Jimmy the Hair Guy. The reason people love
That's
Jimmy
the
Hair Guy
weird
is he's a
vibe,
maniac.
though. If he's crazy man, if he's a nutcase, under this shell,
I'm wild.
That's even nuttier. TSD Town hasn't seen something.
Guys,
this well built.
I'm not even a lawyer.
Tell him, Steve Dave.